Hello, everyone, and welcome to the P1 Broadcasting Network. You've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear. It's the Bass Brothers, and we're back for one more time at the Darlington Raceway for round number 4 of the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Once again at the Lady in Black last night, Caleb, we saw a race at Darlington. It was 200 miles. Kendall Paul was the winner. Kendall Paul is not here tonight. He's off watching a real-world automobile race on the dirt in Oklahoma, and so he will not be available to repeat tonight, but some of the same cast of characters are back tonight as were at the front last night, and they are just as fast in the pickup truck as they were in the Grand National car, Caleb.
Yes, they are, but that doesn't mean they're quite exactly the same here. The truck does seem to have just a tiny bit less power, but it has significant more grip around the high banks here at Darlington. So it's going to be a different style of racing. Tires, I don't think will play as much as a factor as they did last night, but it is still something to look out for around this mile, just over a mile speedway here.
The tires do wear out, you're exactly right, but the tire wear is not nearly as significant in the truck because, as Caleb alluded to, it doesn't have as much raw power as the Grand National cars, and frankly, it's draggier. It produces more downforce, and so it's got a lot more aero grip as well. The track record for the NASCAR trucks here, John Hunter Nemechek, 29,392. We're just a couple of tenths off of that. I would expect somebody in qualifying to actually make a run to get close to that. Right now in practice, we are at 79 degrees, 90 in the air, 94 on the track, and it is a windy day here, Caleb, at Virtual Darlington. 17 miles an hour out of the northwest, and that's gonna play some havoc with these trucks.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna push along the back straightaway, get the cars slightly slowed down, but it's gonna push them along the front stretch. So we'll see how if that plays a factor. I'm sure it probably will eventually in the later stages of a run. But one thing we talked a little bit about tire wear. We won't really have to worry about strategy too much. We didn't see that last night in the Grand National Series, and but the trucks do go. They are able to go a full stint in the third stage, so we really won't see a strategy call. So it's really going to be how do you manage your stuff and how clean you're able to take it here.
You know, that's very true. How clean can you be? We saw Kendall Paul win the race last night. He was the only car that did not have damage. He drove it to victory lane. We saw drivers managing tires, and it's not just about Caleb. It's not just about the tires on the car. You got to manage the tires on the pit wall. Of course, we're going to see pit stops at the first and second stage breaks. The drivers should have a couple of extra sets to use at their convenience, but you don't want to burn those up too early. You want to have a set in the pit lane for an inter-race shootout, and we saw that play. Last night. Fuel is not a concern. The trucks can go 60 to 70 laps. The longest stretch that they'll need to go here is 54, so we're not worried about fuel. It's just all down to Caleb, who can manage their resources the best. Speaking of managing resources, the build of this track, all about managing resources. Harold Brassington built the Darlington Raceway in 1950, and for a long time, this and Indianapolis were really the two great paved racetracks in the United States. It was originally planned to be a symmetrical 1.5 mile oval, very similar to what Atlanta became, and that's the wide end of the track. Unfortunately for Harold Brassington, the guy that he got the land from didn't want him to destroy his fishing pond, and so we get the narrow end of the track, and the fishing pond still stands to this day. Also, the track was known as Harold's Folly by the local populace at its beginning, and it eventually became an American institution. We're going to see part of that institution tonight, as many of the drivers here in the Freightliner 200 are going to be running throwback paint schemes as they did last night. So we'll take a moment to appreciate some of the skilled painters that are a part of this league. The track itself, 1.366 miles in length, 25 degrees banking in turns 1 and 2. That's the wide fast end. Turns 3 and 4 are narrow, and they are slightly less banked, 23 degrees. The front backstretch banked at 6 degrees, and the track has been flipped. And so, Caleb, we've all seen Days of Thunder, my man. When everybody slows down there up at turn 4, you just keep your foot on the gas and drive right by them on the outside. Well, that famous scene happened in what is now turns 1 and 2. And so, if you go back and watch the famous Winston Million scene with Bill Elliott and all the fans waving their hats and throwing stuff on the track as Elliott passed, that happened on what is the backstretch now. So, it's a little bit of history of Darlington. They flipped it in the mid-90s. Caleb, we'll give you 3 cracks at who's fastest in practice. Who you got?
Well, I didn't choose Peyton Howell last night, and I was actually wrong in my choice to not pick him, so I'm going to pick him tonight.
Well, one more time, it is not Peyton Howell. Ryan O'Donoghue, the quick lap in practice, 29.548. Jared Duda, second quick, 29.582. And Peyton Howell, third fast. We don't see him very often in a truck, but Greg Evans has brought out the pickup tonight. He is fourth quick, and Bladen Edwards will round out your top 5. Jeffrey Goodpaster, Nathan Nicholson, Sam Crow, John Hutchins, and Austin Hund are the remainder of your top 10. In terms of points, Caleb, right now it is a 5-way fight. You've got Peyton Howell on top. Logan Edwards, your teammate, is second in the points. He is not here, so I do not see Logan. He is in the field.
He is in the field.
He is. I did not see him. There he is, 33rd quick. So Logan Edwards is here. Matt Sisler, third. Austin Hund, fourth. And Ryan O'Donoghue, fifth. Those are your top 5 in points. Nathan Nicholson, Paul Witt, Chuck Sweeting, Julian Valadez, and Raul Alvis round out your top 10. Are we going to see a new paint scheme for Logan tonight? That's the question.
I've seen it, and it is different since last time. For those that don't know, me and Logan are now on Team I5G for the IndyCar community. And he doesn't quite have a livery for that yet, so I think he's running one of the liveries he's ran way back when. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it is indeed different.
It is indeed different, and we're going to see different paint schemes, different liveries tonight. If you've seen the first 3 races, there are going to be some trucks that look a little bit different because the AMA does celebrate the throwback weekend at Darlington, and so we saw a lot of those last night. David Dunwoody ran the Gray Ghost, for example, and so you're going to see different cars. You're also going to see a lot of change in make. With the release of the Season 2 build, the Ram pickup became available, and there are quite a few Rams in the starting field tonight. Caleb, I'm going to go with about a third of the field, including 4 of the top 5. The lone Ford is Jared Duda. Everybody else in the top 5 is running one of the new Rams.
Yeah, you typically always see that when new content comes out. Everybody, especially, you usually don't see it much, especially when the trucks. This was a very rare case scenario in which a new manufacturer decided to come in, but you see it all the time with GT3s. The new car is what everybody wants to run, and we're seeing that here immediately for the first race with the Dodge Ram here in the AMA series.
We are indeed. Practice is less than 50 seconds from being concluded. Jared Duda has gone to the top of the board at a 29.501, so he goes about half a tenth quicker than Ryan O'Donoghue, and that's a tall order. I'm going to be interested to see how this race works out tonight, Caleb, for a couple of different reasons. We saw some interesting items occur last evening. I'm interested to see what that looks like tonight. I'm interested to see what the reactions are. There have been some penalties and some discipline handed out. Those will be announced next week. And so I'm interested to see the calming effect that has on these cars. I'm also interested to see drivers like O'Donoghue, Howell, Evans, Sam Crow, David Dunwoody drivers that raced last night, Troy Carricker was fast too. Drivers that raced last night, how they're able to translate that experience into tonight's race. Because Darlington is very much a track that you can get into a rhythm, and you get into a rhythm, my man, and you can do some damage here. And those drivers have 200 miles of experience, and we are ready to go qualifying here at Darlington. We're gonna wait and see who we've got. Who we've got on the course. Here's one that was a favorite from last night, Julian Valadez in the 21. Julian Valadez had a great run last night in that truck, or in his car last night rather. I'm interested to see if Julian Valadez is able to replicate that. So we'll have a look at Julian Valadez's run. We'll get the scoring tree up. Valadez on the course. And let's jump inside with him. Love this view, Caleb. It's the gyro cam on board Julian Valadez as he navigates down the Boeing backstretch at Darlington.
Yeah, he goes through turns 3 and 4. And one thing that's going to be interesting to know is that last night in qualifying for the Grand National Series, the first lap was typically the faster lap. We'll see how he does. First lap, 29.829 as he comes across the line. We'll see if that's the same case scenario with the first lap being faster, or if that second lap just gets the tires a little bit warmer, a little bit hotter, and if they're able to go quicker here.
Yeah, we'll see. Valadez, his first lap, 29.829. He's on his second run now, and big loose off of turn 4. Julian Valadez, his second lap, 29.534, and that's going to vault him right to the top of the board. So good lap for Julian Valadez. Let's check in on Ryan O'Donoghue as he navigates down the Boeing backstretch. He's on his first hot lap of 2, and there he is down into 3 and 4, and they're going almost to the apron on entry here, Caleb.
Well, technically it isn't really an apron. You're allowed to use that racing surface here at Darlington. It's a lot of a shallow line, and Ryan O'Donoghue spins into turn 1 and 2.
His first lap was good enough for third fastest. Austin Hund has vaulted to the top of the board, but you saw it right here. Ryan O'Donoghue is going to park his number 14. How about Peyton Howell? Here's Peyton Howell as he navigates around Darlington. The unrivaled number 25 Ram. It's a good-looking truck. You got some pink trim on it, pink and black. He tags the wall.
He hits the wall.
Yeah. So that's going to invalidate this lap, most likely. Peyton Howell comes off of turn number 4. Or turn number 2, rather. He'll go down the front straightaway. He'll get one more crack at it. In iRacing, if you touch the outside wall, you're going to wind up with a incident point, and that will negate your lap time in qualifying. We'll see if it counts it. Howell 29.579 does not count on the first go round, so he's going to have to make one more trip around Darlington here. 28 trucks have taken time, and there are about 10 more that have yet to be credited with a time. So Peyton Howell looking to get out of the 30th starting spot. If you don't take time in iRacing, by the way, for those of you at home, you line up by your iRating, which is a composite score of your past finishes. Peyton Howell goes to the top of the leaderboard, 29.395, and he is awful close to that track record. Here's Jim Duda. Duda has not yet left. He's going to go with a minute left, and Jim Duda's flirting with not getting a second lap here, Caleb.
Actually, he's actually already attempted a first lap. It says this is actually his, with iRacing, if you attempt your first lap and you reset, well, then your out lap of your second attempt is technically your first lap. So this is actually, his next lap is just going to be his only attempt at a run, and I don't think he's going to have enough time to complete this lap. There's only 25 seconds left of the session.
Usually you get 5 seconds in between sessions, and they'll credit you with a run if you make it within that 5 seconds. But Jim Duda going to be awful close. He's through turns 1 and 2. Good looking line there, Caleb, as he heads down the backstretch. But he's only got 10, maybe 15 seconds tops to get back to that start-finish line, and I don't think he's going to do it. There's the timer at the top 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jim Duda comes off of turn number 4, and he does not get there. So Jim Duda will start 35th in the Freightliner 200 tonight from the Darlington Speedway. Your SimShop Pole Award goes to Peyton Howe, 160.2655 miles an hour. Peyton Howe, the SimShop Pole Award. Just keep driving, www.simshop.com. Jared Duda, you're looking at him from the drone. Jared Duda will start second. In third spot, it's Greg Evans. Austin Hund will go from fourth. Matt Sisler, Julian Valadez, fifth and sixth. Ryan O'Donohue, Justin Osterman, James Hodgson, Jeffrey Goodpaster, and James Hodgson will round out your top 10. In 11th, it's Bladen Edwards. Kevin Grettenberger is going to go from 12th. Logan Edwards, nice run for the number 9. He is 13th. Chuck Sweeting, 14th. Troy Carricker is back for another go-round. He'll be 15th. He'll start alongside Sam Crow in 16th. John Hutchins, 17th, Say Hey Lewis Hayes will go from 18th in the Richard Petty throwback. Tonight, Pat O'Brien 19th, and Joseph Greathouse will start from the 20th spot. In 21st, Paul Witt, Alan Steigerwalt 22nd, Adam O'Brien, Randy Dunlap 23rd and 24th, Nathan Nicholson, Ted Craven 25th and 26th, Brian Sharp, Jeremy Dunwoody, Chris Greathouse, Michael Kirk round out your top 30. In 31st, it's going to be Donald Green, Matt Wagner 32nd in the Crown Royal machine. The cars behind them did not take time. Nathan Palawota, David Dunwoody, Jim Duda, we talked about, Sean Roberts, Chad Meadows, Joshua Edwards, and Keith Graham. 39 trucks signed in tonight for Darlington, Caleb, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good show.
Yes, it is. I think that's bigger than what we had in the Grand National race last night. I think we were just around 35, if I remember correctly. A really, really good field. 39 drivers out here tonight. And one thing that is different here, Murph, this is going to be a night race.
It is, and here's what that's done to the weather. We talked about it at the top of the show. It was over 90 degrees on the track. The lights are on, 73 on the track, 75 in the air. The wind is starting to die down. This is going to get racy, Caleb.
Yes, it is. Cooler track conditions, obviously, which means you have more grip and technically a little bit more horsepower with the air being colder. It's more denser. You're able to get more air into the engine. So the truck should be faster than what we saw in the practice session earlier, but Peyton Howe, pace car, and the pace car are in turn 3, and we're ready to go here, Murph.
We most certainly are. Do want to thank everybody for joining in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. The trucks are coming through turns 3 and 4. Peyton Howe, Jared Duda are your front two. Greg Evans and Austin Hund on row 2. Green flag is out, and we are underway in the Freightliner 200 from Darlington. They head down into turn 1. Duda and Howe side by side, even Steven through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's 2x2 for about what seems 10 car lengths back. No Darlington stripes for that front of the pack, but the front two are still side by side. Jared Duda and Peyton Howe rocking turn 3 and 4. They are still side by side through the corner. Neither of them are given an inch until Peyton Howe finally concedes on the front straightaway. But behind them, Austin Hunt and Julian Valadez, both of them have gained a little bit of places. They went side by side going into turn 1. They go single file now. Very, very clean, but very good start. And as I say that, Peyton Howe's looking up the inside going into turn 3.
Peyton Howell does look up the inside going through turn 3. He is going to get to the lead right as the caution is going to fly, and that's going to be for Jeremy Dunwoody, among others. David Dunwoody, his brother. The 09 of Keith Graham involved. Chuck Sweeting involved. It looks like Matt Wagner is involved as well, and Matt Wagner is going to get the meatball flag, so we need to figure out what has gone on here. Here's Wags. He's all the way at the back, so the fun started in front of him. There's Jeremy Dunwoody. He's going to turn it. He's going to get loose and turn it down to the apron. He overcorrects and comes back up in front of the field. Nicks his brother. David gets into Keith Graham, and Matt Wagner doesn't see him. These corners can be kind of blind here, Caleb. And Wags, I don't think ever saw him. Dunwoody is David Dunwoody spins to the bottom in the number 28, and Keith Graham gets piece of the wall on the outside, and we'll see from Keith Graham's truck exactly what transpired. There's a 09, and he's just kind of going along here, Caleb. You're on the roof cam with Keith Graham. He's rolling along. You see the Jeremy Dunwoody truck, and he thinks, "Oh, I'm going to get." Nope. I'm going to get through. I'm not going to get through, Spotter. I'm in the wall.
Yeah, just a very unfortunate situation there. Just a very simple slide and spin, and unfortunately it took a couple trucks out with it. That's going to reset the field here. We're currently on lap number 4, so didn't really get much running done, but it was a very, very interesting start there. We had our leaders and a couple guys further back going side by side for a good portion of that start there. So looking good so far despite that incident.
Most certainly is. Do want to thank Admin Box, race control at the touch of a button. They do sponsor the caution flags here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coating Truck Series. If you're a race controller, league owner, admin, you do hosted sessions, adminbox.com, 2 X's. They'll get you fixed up with a custom button box for iRacing applications. Do also want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings. They're a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail, flooring, or concrete repair at home, you found the perfect partner to get the job done. Get ready to floor it with Archway, and that's archwaycoatings.com. So, do want to thank everybody for tuning in also on P1 as we get ready to go back to green. If you haven't done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. After the Week 13 lull, Caleb, we are back at full song with a full slate of officials, several leagues in action over the weekend and next week. So if you like racing, virtual racing, make P1 your home. And we've already got a big crowd in here tonight, so I do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. Got a question, make sure you throw it in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer it live on the air. Odeon 420 wants to know, is Dunwoody in this race? We got 2 of them, Jeremy Dunwoody and David Dunwoody, both of them involved in the early caution. Jeremy Dunwoody under repair. David Dunwoody has his truck fixed, but he is in 35th. As we get ready to go back to the green flag, Barney puts it up in the air. And away we go one more time. Peyton Howell will streak away from Julian Valadez and Jared Duda as we head down into turn number 1.
Yeah, it almost looked like Jared Duda almost tagged the wall there going through turn number 1. And he didn't really get the best start. He got a really good start.
Whoa, trouble in the back. Say hey, Lewis Hayes is around.
Caution is out.
Lewis Hayes got turned around somewhere in the pack, and that truck went completely sideways. It nearly got up on its side. He's got the 48 of Joseph Greathouse to his outside, and Greathouse is going to get up and touch the wall a little bit. He'll come down, and just almost as we saw last night, time and time again, Caleb, that is, I believe, is that the 94 of Troy Carricker? Yep, that's the 94 of Troy Carricker. You see Jim Duda go around in the background just trying to get checked up. But you see the car in front get into the wall. That's the 48 that's the 48 truck in front. That is Joseph Greathouse. He's going to tag the wall, and poor Lewis Hayes is going to check up to give him room. And Troy Carricker just fills the hole where, say, hey, Lewis Hayes would have been, and they both get contact there. How many times did we see that last night, Caleb? What, 4 or 5 at least?
It feels like it was, it felt like it was happening all the time, but it's just an unfortunate circumstance there. It's a very simple mistake, and just results in a very big incident there to within the very early stages of this race.
Got Matty Wagner checking in. Got Matty Wagner checking in. It does happen here. These early incidents. The good news is here at Darlington, you're going to get some caution flags as long as you can kind of keep it on the lead lap. You're going to have a chance to come in, get your stuff fixed, and get yourself going again, unless there's too much damage and it can't be fixed. And that's unfortunately where poor Matty Wagner is now. He has retired the number 17 out, and he'll be credited with 39th. Peyton Howell is back at the front. Trucks that have been in under repair include, say, hey, Lewis Hayes. Jeremy Dunwoody is in for more repair. Chad Meadows, Chuck Sweeting, Sean Roberts, Michael Kirk, Keith Graham, Joshua Andrews, and David Dunwoody have all been on the pit lane getting their truck fixed. Do want to wish David Dunwoody, by the way, a happy birthday for one thing, Caleb, but also I hope he's feeling better. Last night, David Dunwoody suffering through the flu. He winds up running 4th in that race last night, and he's back tonight. I hope he's feeling better, Caleb.
Yeah, he put on a very strong fight there despite it being underneath the weather. But sometimes that's just the best medicine. Sim racing is the best medicine sometimes. So we'll see if he's able to replicate a top 5 finish here tonight. Pace cars rounding turn 3 and 4. Peyton Howe is going to lead them off. His teammate to the outside, Julian Valdez.
He is indeed. They'll come off of turn number 4. Barney has the green flag in the air, and away we go one more time here at Darlington.
Yeah, Peyton Howe didn't get as good of a start as he did last time. Julian Valdez still behind him this time around. Jared Duda behind them. They're going single file, about 7 cars back, but they're 2x2 all behind them. So we made it. We at least made it one lap. It seems. We made this on this start.
We did. Jeffrey Goodpacer works to the outside of Ryan O'Donohue. Everybody else has more or less got single file. We've got a truck going around in the back. That is Keith Graham. No caution. We will continue to race on. Keith Graham goes around. Meanwhile, up toward the front, Matt Sisler is looking to the inside of Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman in the 53. Sisler in the 3 birdies machine. He's looking to grab the 6th spot on Osterman.
Yeah, he has the inside line going to turn 1. Usually you want the outside of turn 1. You can get a really good run, and it looks like Osterman's going to do that. He's going to clear him going through turn number 2, and right behind them, Blaine Edwards tags the wall there. No harm, no foul. He gets his first Darlington stripe of the night. And I think that's actually technically the first Darlington stripe off turn 2 we've seen here, Murph. So we'll check it off there.
Yeah, the Darlington stripe usually happens coming off of turn number 4. That's the narrow end of the egg. And so normally when you see guys getting in the wall, it is there. But you got to be careful. Let's jump on board Matt Sisler. You got to be careful with this track, because the walls almost at corner exit jump out at you, Caleb. Watch how fast the wall comes up on Matt Sisler here to the outside. It's right where you want to exit on both ends of the speedway.
Yeah, it is. It just comes up so fast because the corners feel like they're kind of long. They're kind of long, and you're got nice flow to them, and then all of a sudden, bam! It just gets really tight on exit, and it makes Darlington unique, especially in current turn 2. It's very prevalent there. You talked about in Days of Thunder how that used to be turn 4, and they used to talk about all the time daring number turn 4. But this time around, we get our first Darlington stripe in turn number 2. So we'll see how the rest of the field gets on. Peyton Howell has pulled away about 4 to 5 car lengths over Julian Valdez, his teammate, and Jared Duda is currently looking on the outside there. But we'll see how the rest of the field goes on. It is pretty spread out at the moment, but there are battles all up and down the field here.
There are indeed, and we'll stick with the battle for the second spot. That is Julian Valdez at the front of Jared Duda. Duda seems to have fallen a couple of car lengths behind the number 21 machine of Julian Valdez, and he was wheeling the Grand National car last night. We've got caution on the speedway. Caution one more time. Chris Greathouse, Randy Dunlap involved. Everybody get it slowed down, boys. Slow down. So here's Greathouse. Here's Greathouse. These are two separate incidents, I think, Caleb. Here's the first one. It's Greathouse and David Dunwoody. They're going down into turn number 1. Greathouse is going to get up in the wall a little bit, turn the truck sideways. He and Dunwoody make contact, and then Dunwoody continues on. David Dunwoody does. Chris Greathouse hard in the wall, and then just kind of the same thing. All heck breaks loose behind him. You see Troy Carricker spinning. Randy Dunlap is involved, and Dunlap, you saw the 07 spin as well. Dunlap had pretty much had a crash the length of that end of the speedway, and we're going to go back and watch the onboard from Randy Dunlap because he's kind of just the innocent bystander here, Caleb.
Yeah, it's just another unfortunate circumstance there. Very little time to react. So, we talk about that all the time with the Ols. Very little time to react to these crashes that happen in front of you, and sometimes you just got to make the right move if you got to avoid them, and just a little mishap going through, coming up to the crash, it can be race done as quick as that. So unfortunate circumstance, but we did see quite a few drivers come down pit lane that time. I don't think to take tires, but to get some damage repaired. We already have quite a few drivers that have significant body damage, so a lot of them are going to come down pit lane and get that damage repaired. No, and we should, I believe it's 2 to go here. We should be going green 2 times around here, Murph.
We should. This is going to give Say Hey Lewis Hayes. You see him going past the pace car. It's going to give Say Hey Lewis Hayes a chance to get back on the lead lap. And so, of the 39 starters, we're still going to have 35 cars on the lead lap. Randy Dunlap, Jim Duda, Matt Wagner have retired. Jeremy Dunwoody is still circulating, but he is 6 laps in arrears. And you were right, several trucks came to pit lane that time. Everybody from 26th on back, Good Pacer, Roberts, David Dunwoody, Pat O'Brien, Troy Carricker, Ted Craven, Say Hey Lewis Hayes, Chad Meadows, Chris Greathouse, and Keith Graham all came in to get further repair. Do want to thank everybody for joining us. We are under the admin box caution flag here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We're going to go back to green when we come back to get lap 20. It is Peyton Howell, Julian Valdez on the front row, Jared Duda, Austin Hund in row 2, Greg Evans and Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. They're going to go from row 3, Caleb.
Yeah, a bit of a not really much of a shakeup at the front of the field. We didn't get much green flag running. The biggest mover at the moment is Nathan Nicholson. He started back at 25th. He's currently up in 12th. But the top 10 haven't really shuffled around too much. Julian Valdez started 6th, currently in 3rd. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag is out. Peyton Howell shoots away on the inside, and Valdez is hanging tough on that high line. We'll see if he can mount a challenge for the lead. Howell, though, now he clears him, and that's going to open the door for Jared Duda to sneak to the inside. He's going to try to get the preferred line on Julian Valdez for second as they come into the short end of the track, and that is the best way. That is the preferred way around. But Duda lifts, and he'll give the second spot to Julian Valdez. And meanwhile, Austin Hund, he's looking for that third spot. And Hund, that's a sneaky, quick guy. He's 4th in the points. He's 4th in the point standings right now, and he's looking for more, Caleb.
Yeah, he is. He was trying to capitalize on the checkup a little bit that Duda had to do in turn number 3, trying to go for that move over Julian Valdez. He tried to capitalize on it, but wasn't able to make it work going down that front stretch. And now he's dropped back into the clutches of Greg Evans. Greg Evans ran really, really strong yesterday. Was basically at the front of the field the entire night, except for the beginning of the 3rd stage with an incident. But we know he's very strong around here. We know Greg Evans can move back up to the front of the pack. It'll just be a matter of time of when he does.
Yeah, and those experienced drivers like Greg Evans, what they're looking for is they're looking for a long run where their expertise and knowledge in saving the tires, managing their resources, so to speak, we're looking at that. They're looking for those longer runs so that that experience can come to the forefront. It's not just a 10-lap sprint and then a caution. He wants it to stay green. Now remember, we're going to have a caution at lap 45. We're going to get another one at 90 for the stage breaks, but Greg Evans would love to see it stay green just as long as it possibly can so that he can look to he can move up toward the front. Remember, at the end of those long runs last night, Caleb, he was faster than Peyton Howell, and so Greg Evans is looking for that long run. Meanwhile, back for the 6th spot, Justin Osterman is the jam truck, and he has got a ton of people behind him eager to get past. You see Bladen Edwards move to the outside. Matt Sizzler is going to try to come around the outside of him, and Ryan O'Donoghue is in that mix as well, Caleb.
Yeah, Ryan O'Donoghue ran really, really strong yesterday as well, was at the lead. Like Greg Evans, just got caught up in an unfortunate incident late into the running. But Justin Osterman has to concede that place to Bladen Edwards. Bladen, we've seen run so good in the trucks here at the pass. We'll see what he's able to do here tonight as he moves himself into the 6th position. And it looks like he's dropping the pack that's behind him just a few car lengths here, Murph.
It is. Matt Sizzler is going to go to work on Justin Osterman. Meanwhile, behind him, Nathan Nicholson, Ryan O'Donoghue are going after it for the 9th and 10th spot. They'll get back in line. That's Logan Edwards and James Hodgson in the forward-facing 88 behind them. And then another truck that's back there that I'm interested in, that's the 8 of Sam Crow. And Sam had a great run last night, too. He didn't get the finish he probably deserved, but Sam Crow
Caution is out.
edging his way to the front. We've got caution on the Speedway. It's Pat O'Brien around and backwards in turn number 2. And there's O'Brien in the 0-7. Caution is on the Speedway, and he's got the meatball. He'll have to respect that. He was running along with a car that's numbered 8. That is not the number 8. I believe that might be, no, not that one either. We'll need to figure out who is running in the number 8 Dale Earnhardt Jr. liveried machine. But that's your accident. And there's poor Pat O'Brien hard into the wall, and he's going to need to come to pit lane and observe the meatball. You have to respect that, Caleb. The meatball flag, by the way, for the fans at home. is a black flag with an orange disc in the middle. That means you must pit for repair. It has the same enforcement as a regular black flag. So if you don't answer it, they'll stop scoring you, Caleb.
No, they will not. Just to quickly get that, it was Chad Meadows in that Dale Jr. Inspired livery. So that was who you're looking for. But the meatball, they gotta say you gotta respect the meatball here in iRacing. You get about 3 green flag laps of running to pit. After that, you're out here, bud. So you gotta respect the meatball here, Murph.
Didn't the Hyperstar make an entire video about respecting the
Yes,
meatball?
he did. Yes, he did. Brendan Hyperstar made a video respecting the meatball because of his series Arca Break Weekly that he did on his channel. I want to say it's been about 3 years since he last did his video. But when you go into Arca in those fixed setup races, especially when it was the old car, a lot of people did not respect the meatball, and they paid for it.
Yeah, you have to respect the meatball. So that's what that means when you hear us talking about the meatball flag for the fans at home. Black flag, orange disc, it means that your automobile, your vehicle, whatever you want to call it, is damaged and you must pit to fix it. Some damage does not require a meatball, but if you get that, that means that there's some part on the car that's broken that must be fixed before you can return to action. We are under the admin box caution flag, lap 29 of 147. We're going to get the green flag at coming to get lap 30 here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. You're watching the Freightliner 200 live on P1. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. For all of you in Indiana, Purdue is up 65-38 on Queens College with 13 minutes and change left in the second half. So all the Purdue fans in my house, and there is a Purdue alum living in my house. That would be my wonderful wife, Natalie, and got to thank her for letting me play broadcaster most evenings and really, really slow driver on some others. But she's in there watching a basketball game, Caleb.
I'm more of a hockey guy myself, so I really don't have much input. So, but enough of this basketball nonsense. We got to get back to the front of this race here, Murph.
We do. Peyton Howell and Julian Valadez, as they have been for most of the afternoon and evening, are going to start from the front. Away they go. Julian Valadez gets the jump. Jared Duda is going to get past Peyton Howell now, and that's as far back as Howell has been. Duda to second, Howell to third. Austin Hunn clear in fourth. Bladen Edwards and Greg Evans going after it for fifth and sixth.
Yeah, Jim Duda's got a really good run on the backstairs. Peyton Howell's going to have to concede and fall in line behind them as they go through turns number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Greg Evans and Matt Sizzler are going side by side through turns 3 throw. They're still side by side coming to the front straightaway.
Caution!
The yellow flag is out.
Caution is out. Say hey, Lewis Hayes, one more time, is around in that 43 Richard Petty painted machine. He was excited about that. It's a Dodge, at least, he said. But here he is. He's going through turns 1 and 2. They're 3 wide, and that's never a good sign. The 24 of Joshua Andrews comes up the track in to say, hey, Lewis Hayes, nowhere for Michael Kirk to go. And Troy Carricker is going to get a piece of this. And I think Troy Carricker, along with Ted Craven, but I think poor Troy Carricker has been involved in almost every incident thus far in that number 94, and he gets a piece of this one too. I was about to say, Caleb, if you can get a race here at Darlington going, it will stay green for a long, long time. If you are in a situation like this where you get caution breeds caution, and it can be a very start-stop affair, but if you can get the thing going, it'll stay green for long, long stretches. We just haven't been able to get through and get one of those stretches yet, and we're one more time under the admin box caution here at Darlington in the Freightliner 200.
Yeah, it is. We got a really long green flag run right after the first initial start in stage number 3. We got about 50-ish laps there. So we got a really good long run there until about 10 to go. So it is possible to get green flag runs. Obviously, it is always possible, but when once you start getting 10 laps, 15 laps in, then that's when you can start seeing those really long stints that you usually see around here at Darlington.
Yes, indeed. At least we don't have to worry about green flag pit stops. We don't think we're going to get the green flag when we come back to get 10 laps to go in the stage, and then we'll award the Track Racer Stage 1 win to whoever's at the front at the end of lap 45 plus 10 cars. In iRacing, they throw the caution. It's important to remember it's where you are when the caution comes out that determines the stage, not necessarily who crosses the line first in iRacing. And the caution doesn't come out until the 10th place car has crossed the line. So you want to make sure you race on, Caleb, even once you get to the stage break lap, because if you're at the front, you're not quite done yet.
No, you are not. And we've seen that. It's not so much prevalent on the oval side, but we especially saw that at the Charlotte Roval. Drivers were almost a lap ahead of even 10th place, and they're still racing. And it was just it was a very unique situation on the road course. You typically don't see as much battling, side by side battling when you come to the end of the stage for the top 10, but just because of the nature of the oval side, and the time difference between first and 10th is not that big, so it can change some things every once in a while, but not very often we do see that.
It can. Do want to point out Kevin Grettenberger came and got tires under that last caution. Troy Carricker also took occasion to come down pit lane. Chad Meadows simply drove through, and I was going to pose that question because I wondered aloud, are we going to see somebody pull the same strategy that Julian Valadez did last night, where he pitted right before the stage caution and then use that to great effect to get some track position, Caleb?
It wouldn't shock me if we did, especially if we get another caution right after this restart, but I think it's too close to call, especially
Green
with how
flag,
late
green
we
flag.
are into the end of the stage. But green flag is back out here at Darlington. Julian Valdez is going to lead him into turn 1. Peyton Howell right behind Jared Duda is on the outside. He goes side by side with Peyton Howell. Greg Evans, and with Jared Duda actually hits the wall there.
Yeah, that slowed him way up.
Number 2.
Yeah, that slowed him way up. Greg Evans, Austin Hunt going to go through. Matt Sisler wants to go by. Nathan Nicholson would like a piece of that action. But look, Jared Duda got himself going back in the right direction, and he works right back to the outside of Austin Hunt here. He wants to get back into 4th.
Yeah, he did. Massive time loss for Jared Duda. He was briefly back in 5th there and almost was about to lose 6th there, but now it looks like he's on the back of the rear bumper of Greg Evans, and it looks like he's gaining a little bit of time, but it honestly looks like Greg Evans is also gaining on our leaders.
Yeah, Greg Evans has started to reel in Peyton Howell and Julian Valadez as we get down to the stage break. Matt Sisler has gotten around Nathan Nicholson, so moves Sisler up to 6th. Jared Duda goes to the inside of Greg Evans. Going into turn 1, can't make that move stick. Evans was 0.2 quicker than the leaders the last time through, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes is spun to the inside down the backstretch. Not the racing surface. We will race on, but another tough break for Say Hey Lewis Hayes as we continue to watch Greg Evans as he reels in Peyton Howell and Julian Valadez. Meanwhile, Jared Duda and Austin Hunt are catching Greg Evans.
Yeah, they are. I think Greg Evans got a big bump on that front straightaway there, a little bit of a bump draft, but they have dropped a little bit back towards our front two, but Austin Hunt still hanging on in the top 5, and they dropped back just a little bit, but they gained a little bit of that time back going through 3 and 4, and now they got a lap car in front. That is Bladen Edwards. He was running in the top 5 earlier. Got caught up in an incident, and they got a really slow car in front.
Whoa, we've got trouble. Bladen Edwards, that's the 07 of Chris Greathouse, but Bladen Edwards got a black flag, and look at Greathouse. He just puts the car up in the fence to get out everybody's way. That'll let Julian Valadez sneak away from Peyton Howe a little bit. Meanwhile, the Snarl is back for third. Jared Duda has gotten past Greg Evans. He immediately slaps the wall at the exit of turn number 4 as we get down to the last 5 laps of the stage, working 40 of 147 here at Darlington.
Yeah, Jared Duda was able to take advantage of that lap car, and now it looks like he's closing back on second place Peyton Howe. And they got another lap car in front. That's Michael Kirk. We'll see how they're able to navigate that with about 5 laps to go to stage when they come to the line here. Julian Valdez does seem to be pulling away. And now Greg Evans and Jared Duda are going to go side by side through turn 1. They single file as they go through the corner. And Jared Duda able to pull away just a little bit there, Murph.
Yeah, Michael Kirk came out of the pit lane, and I think it scared him just a little bit. He pulled back in line. Did Greg Evans? He had a big run, and he kind of had to stop that run because of the lap car coming off the pit lane. Jared Duda, I'm noticing, has a much different line than pretty much everybody else through the narrow end of the track. Watch Jared Duda. He's a little bit higher through 1 and 2 on entry, and he comes down a little bit lower on exit. But watch how different he gets through 3 and 4, Caleb. It's almost like, through 3 and 4. It's almost like he's got more of a diamond line. He didn't do it this time, of course, because I was going to point it out. But Jared Duda had been running a very unique line contact. That is Nathan Nicholson and Matt Sizzler. They keep everything going straight. But never fails when you go to point it out, he doesn't do it. But Jared Duda had been running very much a diamond-style line through 3 and 4 and had been making up some time, Caleb.
Yeah, we just saw him get a Darlington stripe there. And honestly, you pointed that out, but I wanted to point out that it looked like Greg Evans was actually quicker through 3 and 4. So I think that line he was taking, and I think he took it that time around as well, that's going to cost some time to Greg Evans. They go side by side through 1 and 2, but Jared Duda having the outside line is going to carry more momentum, more speed onto the back straightaway, and now that allows Austin Hunt to make a move on Greg Evans.
It does indeed. Austin Hunt will drive his number 15 to the bottom of the speedway. He can't quite get enough of a run. The momentum around the top side here at Darlington reigns supreme. There is a trade-off, though, and that is it wears your tires out a lot quicker. Hund has to check up, and that drops him right into the clutches of Nathan Nicholson, and Hund is in the wall in turns 1 and 2. I'll bet Nathan Nicholson's going to use this to try to get a run here down the backstretch. He thinks better of it. And we're going to come across and get the end of stage number 1. That's Chad Meadows going a lap down.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And that is the stage caution. Your winner of Track Racer stage number 1 is Julian Valadez. If you go to trackracer.com and you enter the promo code that I'm going to put in the chat, just like this, you will get 5% of your order put into the AMA year-end prize fund. So if you need some sim racing gear, rig, whatever it is you need, head on over to trackracer.com, put in the web address just as I've put it in the chat, and you'll get 5% of your order put into the end-of-year AMA prize fund, and that's what all these guys race for, right, Caleb?
Yes, it is indeed here, Murph.
Sim racing is a little bit different than real racing. We're going to see everybody hit pit road. Most leagues, and this one is no different. They pay the prize money at the end based on points. So you win a race, you might get a plaque or a trophy or something, but the prize money is paid solely at the end of the year. There's nothing that you get for winning a race in terms of a monetary reward, and so the more money that goes in the kitty, the harder these guys race every race, and you can help us out if you need some sim gear by going to trackracer.com. Everybody is coming to pit lane, Caleb.
Yes, they are indeed. We see Julian Valdez leading them off pit lane. His teammate, Peyton Howe, he has a further pit box than he does. He obviously started on the pole position. We'll see if Peyton's able to get a better run and possibly jump his teammate off of pit lane. And one thing we need to point out is that they do have 5 sets of tires in total. So you're going to probably use one at during this stage. You'll probably use one at the end of the second stage. That should leave you about 2 sets for the third stage if we get a bunch of caution runs. That's going to play a difference at the end of this race here, Murph. Or maybe they take a set in the middle of this next stage and possibly try to get some stage points.
Yeah, it's all about how you manage those resources. As we watch the race off of pit road, there's the pace car. Say Hey Lewis Hayes is behind the pace car. He's 5 laps down. He's going to be waved around the pace car here and go to 4 down. So to Jeremy Dunwoody. Dunwoody is 11 laps in arrears, so he'll get back to 10 laps off the pace. Do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get on all the iRacing fun. We also want to thank the series sponsor, Archway Industrial Coatings. They're a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years in that St. Louis area. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting your installation schedule and budget. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail, flooring, or concrete repair at home, you found the right partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. That's archwaycoatings.com. Do also want to thank all of the competitors. It was a fun stage 1, and we're going to see what is in store for us in stage 2. Peyton Howell, Jared Duda going to line up on row 1. Austin Hunt, Matt Sisler, row 2. Nathan Nicholson, Justin Osterman, Ryan O'Donohue, Logan Edwards, and Nathan Palawada are your front 9. James Hodgson is 10th. It's interesting to note, Julian Valdez had dropped to 17th on the pit stop exchange, Caleb.
Yes, he did. That means Peyton Howell doesn't have a teammate. He's going to be in the clutches of Jared Duda as they go through turn number 1. Peyton Howell's able to edge away. We got a spin on the inside.
It's Austin Hunt.
Austin Hunt goes around, but he's able to keep it off the race surface. I think he's back out on, got it going again. So no caution there. We got very lucky with that.
We did indeed.
Peyton Howell leads the field away going through turns 3 and 4, and he's pulling away from Jared Duda.
We do indeed. Here's what happened to Austin Hunt. He hit the flat going in the corner. Now, that's the normal line that you would take. Unfortunately for Austin Hunt, cold tires being cold, he hit the flat and it turned him loose. Meanwhile, you see all kinds of cars getting loose coming off of turn 2 as Peyton Howell has now established a half a second lead over Jared Duda. Matt Sisler in the 3 birdies. I keep wanting to say Toyota, but it's a Ram tonight in the 3 birdies machine. He is 3rd. Nathan Nicholson is 4th. And Ryan O'Donohue, uncharacteristically for him, normally he likes to race from the front, Caleb. He's quietly worked his way to 5th. Justin Osterman is under fire from Nathan Palawada and Logan Edwards. Edwards moves around Palawada into 7th, and now it's Logan Edwards that'll give chase to that number 53 for the 6th spot. That's the best battle on the track.
Yeah, he gets a really good run off of turn number 4. Meanwhile, behind them, Julian Valdez has already gained a lot of places off that restart. He got a speeding penalty on pit exit, so he had to get in the car in the wall. That's the 88. James Hodgson hit the wall hard coming off turn 2.
There's James Hodgson, and we're going to get in the Wayback Machine as David Dunwoody goes past. That'll put Dunwoody in the 14th spot. Here's Hodgson going through turns 1 and 2. And there it is. He gets it loose, overcorrects, and hard. You're right, Caleb. That is a big, big hit for the forward-facing 88, James Hodgson, and he gets past in wholesale fashion. He's still out there. We've got further trouble though. Joseph Greathouse and Chuck Sweeting into the backstretch fence, and that's going to bring out the caution. And here we go. Chuck Sweeting, normally among the front runners here in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. He's got Greathouse to his outside. They're racing for about the 20th spot. Greathouse into the wall, bounces off, Chuck Sweeting around. Austin Hund narrowly avoids disaster. Sweeting and Greathouse do a pretty good job of keeping it up in the wall so that nobody hits them. But another caution is out here, brought to you by Admin Box. Race control at the touch of a button. AdminBox.com will get you fixed up. One more time at lap 55 of 147. I don't know that we're going to see anybody pit here, Caleb. It's a little bit too soon to sacrifice that much track position to get a new set of tires here.
If it was the Grand National Series, I would say, yeah, it'd probably be worth it if you wanted to get some stage points. But we do see quite a number of drivers actually coming down pit lane to either take tires or possibly get some damage repaired towards the rear of the field. But in the truck series, the trucks do make less horsepower. We talked about that earlier in the race, and they do have just a little bit more grip than the Grand National cars. They still do the same lap times, but they just grip up a little bit better because of the lower speed and just because of the aerodynamics and suspension of the truck. So they are able to save tires just a little bit easier, but it's still a factor to play to where if you're 10 laps in, maybe it's worth it, but in the trucks, it's not going to be as impactful as what we saw in the Grand National Series last night.
James Hodgson is the first car that came down pit road. He is in the 20th spot. So Hodgson, Grettenberger, Sweeting, Carricker, Crow, Greathouse, Brian Sharp all came to the pit lane. Say Lewis Hayes stayed out. He stayed out, but he is 4 laps down. Everybody back to Brian Sharp is on the lead lap. And so you're right. I don't think anybody's coming in for tires at this point. They're coming in to get damage fixed. And, hey, why not, right? You want to get as much of that stuff taken care of as you can in the hopes that you get a long green flag run and you can make use of a repaired automobile. The flip side of that is you're going to go to the back, and Caleb, when you're in the back, that's usually where the trouble begins, isn't it?
Especially at this track, it seems like the further back you are, the more you have to avoid, especially around this track. And another thing you got to think, like, you're going to have fresher tires. All right, we're about 10 laps in. You're going to have 10 lap fresher tires than everybody else. But if you do go to the back, well, then you just got to fight through the field, and you got to wear your tires out a little bit, faster than everybody else if you just stayed out. So that's something you got to also consider if you do pit. You got to move your way through the field, and you're going to wear your tires a little bit worse than if you just stayed out, at least in terms of the rate it is.
Yeah, like I say, it's a little bit early to make that pit stop to come and get tires and try to make a strategy run. Barney's got the green flag in the air. We're going to get lap 58 of 147. Peyton Howell will lead him down into turn 1, and away we go, Caleb.
Yeah, Jared Duda got a better start than he did last time, and he gets a really good run through turn number 1. Peyton Howell running a high line behind them. They are 2 by 2. Nathan Nicholson and Matt Sizzler running in the 3rd and 4th spot. We get cars tagging the Darlington stripe, and we got a wreck on the backstretch.
It's Adam O'Brien hard into the outside wall on the backstretch, and there's O'Brien in the 74, and once again the caution's going to fly. He's running behind Logan Edwards. He's got Peyton Howell to his left, Greg Evans, and the 87 are behind him. And I think that's just a misjudgment there from Evans and O'Brien as to who was going where when, and around goes Adam O'Brien. Caution is on the Speedway, and Troy Carricker into Paul Witt at the end. Poor Troy Carricker, one more time involved in contact here. Poor Troy has been involved in pretty much every incident thus far here at Darlington. If we've seen the admin box caution fly, it's been in part with Troy Carricker involved as we come and get lap 60. And right now, Caleb with the pace car leading the most laps here. Peyton Howell's loving it. He doesn't have to worry about people coming to pit lane, flipping the strategy on him. He doesn't have to worry. These are easy laps here. He doesn't have to worry about tire wear. Justin Osterman has pulled his truck to the apron on the front stretch, so that's interesting.
I don't see any penalty applied or like an EOL or something. So maybe he's having a mechanical issue on his end, possibly.
It's possible, or usually if a guy needs to use a restroom, you'll jump up and you'll pull in the pit lane and leap out and do that. But it happens. There are mechanical failures in sim racing. It's not a blown engine, but sometimes you can have a wheel shut off. Your pedals may stop working, things of that nature. Things get unplugged. Richie Hearn, IndyCar race winner, former IndyCar race winner, Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year. Great guy, great supporter of iRacing. I was in a race with him one time. He did something like that, and his cat had chewed through the wire that connects the steering wheel to the base. So just any number of things could happen. Osterman's resumed his position in the 7th spot. So whatever it was, he's got it fixed, Caleb.
Yeah, he's back out on track, but loses a lot of track position. It's not as though we haven't seen him in the past, or actually he didn't lose any track position there. He's actually lining up in 7th. My mistake. I thought he had to go to the back of the field, letting everybody by, but my mistake there. But we've seen if he did have to go to the back of the field, it's not like he would have stayed back there long. We've seen him go through the field multiple times in yesterday's race. So thankfully, it's just one issue, and hopefully it doesn't come back for him.
Yeah, and that's what you hope, right? If you've got something that comes unplugged or comes undone, you hope it stays plugged in or it stays functioning correctly after you've pulled over and fixed it. Luckily for Osterman, it happens under yellow. He doesn't have to worry about it under green. Speaking of green, Barney has that green flag back in the air, Caleb. We're going to jump up in the P1 airship and show you the restart from that angle.
Green flag.
Through the Sunoco restart zone, Peyton Howell will streak back into the lead, and this time Nathan Nicholson is going to follow him to the inside of Jared Duda, but Duda is going to fight back on the outside, Caleb.
Yeah, he is. This is the first time Jared Duda has kind of let up the inside to a 3rd place spot. Not since Julia Valdez, but it's a different teammate. It's Nathan Nicholson giving Jared Duda a run there through turns 1 and 2, but he concedes going through 3 and 4, and that kind of allows Matt Sizzler to get a good run, but he's got the number 4 behind him, and now talking about Julie Valdez, he looks like he's looking up the inside, going through turns 1 and 2, thinks better of it.
Yeah, Julian Valdez I was going to say, car hard in the wall back further in the pack. It wasn't too long ago at the stage break. We were talking about Julian Valdez restarting this race 17th. He's alongside Nathan Palawada for 5th as we head down the front straightaway to get lap number 64. I did miss lap 51 due to cautions, but we do want to take the opportunity to remember Jim Brooks. Jim Brooks, one of the founding drivers in the Area 51 series. He recently passed away. He is one of the few drivers to have ever completed the Around the World Challenge in Area 51. And so we'd like to take a lap just in silence to remember Jim Brooks. I was honored to race with him and honored to be a champion in his series. And so we'll pause for a moment to honor Jim.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And with that said, caution is back on the speedway. Sean Roberts is around. And let's see, it's not been a good day for Roberts. Normally that 33 is up toward the front, but Sean Roberts, he's been mired in the upper 20s here at Darlington. He's racing with Michael Kirk there, and there's contact going through turns 1 and 2. Around goes Kirk. Roberts gets into him, and then we're going to have more contact with the 57, and then Roberts is going to just demolish that wall there that protects the backstretch pit lane here at Darlington, and gets into Kirk again. And Sean Roberts has already retired his truck, and so that'll bring us to lap 66 under the yellow light. And once again, Peyton Howell is your leader. Jared Duda, there he is in second spot. Nathan Nicholson is third. Matt Sizzler fourth, and the three birdies now Ram. And Julian Valadez has made it back up to the fifth spot. He restarted 17th on the stage. He's back up to fifth already. Ryan O'Donoghue is the one that I've got to say, Caleb, I'm most surprised by. Normally you see O'Donoghue go to the lead, go to the lead, go to the lead, go to the lead. He has just very quietly moved his way through the field. O'Donoghue started seventh. He's sixth now. He's been fifth, as high as fifth. He's been as low as 10th. But Ryan O'Donoghue just very quiet today, unlike last night, Caleb.
Yeah, he led most of the first portions of the race, most of stage number 1 and number 2. Unfortunately, got tangled up in an incident late in the race, and he had to drop back a little bit there. But he's just been playing it much quieter than he did last night, and he's been kind of just hanging about in this middle portion and early portions of this race.
Yes, he is in seventh spot, newcomer Nathan Palawada. There's Nathan in the number 4. You've got Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, 8th. Greg Evans is 9th in his new Ram, and Logan Edwards rounds out your top 10. We had a David Dunwoody fan in the chat earlier. He is 11th. And then John Hutchins will be 12th, and there's John. He's ahead of Adam O'Brien and Austin Hund. And there's Adam O'Brien. Hund is 14th. And that's going to be just about all we've got time for here through the field, because we are getting ready to restart here on coming to get lap 69. And how about that? They're going to restart on my car number, Caleb.
What car number? Why is that your car number, Murph? I wonder why.
So I am originally, and this is honest truth, I'm originally from a small town in southern Indiana called Newburgh, Indiana. Jeffrey Goodpaster, we have a question in the chat. Jeffrey Goodpaster is on lead lap. He is 23rd currently. But I'm originally from a small town in southern Indiana called Newburgh, Indiana, which is right across the river, about 30 minutes down the road and across the Ohio from Owensboro, Kentucky. Owensboro, Kentucky
Green.
is home to the Hayden family of motorcycle racing fame. Sam Crow, black flag on the restart. As we see from the drone cam, Peyton Howell gets away. Jared Duda is battling to retain second from Nathan Nicholson. And they'll have that battle down the back straight. Car hard in the wall again. We've seen that time and again. We've seen that time and again here on these restarts, cars getting in the wall. Valadez grazes the wall as he got past Nicholson, and he'll set his sights on Jared Duda. But Owensboro, Kentucky, home to the Hayden motorcycle racing family. Nicky Hayden was my age, and so he was killed tragically in a traffic accident in Italy while training on a road bike. And so I've raced the 69 ever since then. It's a tribute to Nicky Hayden, former world motorcycle racing champion. Also, Caleb, it's the same upside down as it is right side up. Julian Valadez cuts to the inside of Jared Duda. Julian Valadez now is hunting second one more time, and Duda has teammates all over him. No help, no pressure from Matt Sisler on the back of Nathan Nicholson or Julian Valadez. Duda holds him off, though, Caleb.
Yeah, Julian got a little bit loose on the exit of turn number 4, and he's having to concede the second place position that he briefly did have there. But it looks like he's got a really good run going down the backstretch. Nathan Nicholson drops a little bit behind. But Jared Duda, they are both him and Valdez are dropping to our leader, Peyton Howe, at the moment. And we know Julian Valdez and Jared Duda have the pace to keep up with him, but they need to start working together if they want to try to catch that leader. But with Julian Valdez and Peyton Howe being teammates, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, and Duda seems to have secured that spot, and so Duda now second, Valadez third, Nicholson fourth. The battle is back for fifth. It's Matt Sisler, Ryan O'Donohue, and Nathan Palawada. They are fifth, sixth, and seventh, and they are right close together. O'Donohue has been looking over Matt Sisler for about the last 3 laps. We're going to jump on board with Ryan O'Donohue and see what he sees. Ride shotgun with the number 14 and see if he can't navigate his way into the top 5, Caleb.
Yeah, we've already mentioned, how dominant he was in yesterday, but tonight just doesn't seem to have that same pace, that same spark he had in the Grand National race. But he's right outside the top 5. He's playing it very, very patient. He hasn't gotten in any incidents so far, at least that I can remember. We've already had so many here, Murph, but he's playing it nice and patient. Gets a little bit loose off turn 2, but no harm, no foul. Meanwhile, the battle in front of them, Nathan Nicholson, Julian Valdez, and Jared Duda got a little bit closer together, and Julian Valdez has got a really good run. Meanwhile, as I say that, Ryan O'Donohue goes past Matt Sisler.
He did, and we had focused back in on Julian Valadez because he scraped the wall pretty hard through turns 1 and 2, and that gave some breathing room to Jared Duda. O'Donohue did get past Sisler, and there he is. He'll set sail now after that trio that's running second through fourth. A little bit further back in the field, Greg Evans is all over the rear of Justin Osterman. And you kind of want to talk about tire saving. Look at how much deeper Osterman drove into turn 1 than Greg Evans, and look at the run that Evans gets off the corner as opposed to Osterman. Not so through turns 3 and 4, but through 1 and 2, it was evident that Greg Evans lifted a good 50 yards before Osterman did.
Yeah, just 2 different driving lines. We saw Osterman sawing at the wheel all of the Grand National race last night. He was working that car really, really hard, and I imagine he's doing the same in these trucks, even if they are a little bit easier to drive. And as we say that, Greg Evans looking up the inside of Mr. Excitement. He has the inside line, but he's got the number 4 right in front of him. He's still side by side coming onto the front straightaway, but he's going to have to concede it. Now that allows. Nope. He closes the door. That Edwards had a really good run there, but gets a door shut on him, so he'll have to stay back in the 10th place position there, Murph.
Yeah, he will. And Greg Evans was trying to get back in line, and Logan Edwards was there. Osterman and Edwards and Evans nearly had a moment. Everybody sorted themselves out, and Greg Evans goes back to work, and he is all over Justin Osterman. Look at how close that is. Osterman and Evans. It doesn't get much closer, Caleb.
Yeah, this is a very good battle on track. Greg Evans looks like he's trying to get around, but also it looks like he's just trying to push Osterman in front. I think Greg is the faster car, but it looks like he wants to try to work with Osterman at the moment. but it seems as though Osterman is losing a bit of pace to the number 4 in front.
Well, and you mentioned pushing for Evans. The more he pushes Justin Osterman, the more tire that Osterman uses that he doesn't want to, and that's just going to make it easier for Greg Evans to do that. He cuts the wheel to the left, coming off of turn number 2, gets to the inside, going through turns 3 and 4, and that's where you want to be. Osterman's going to fight back on the high side. Can he make it stick up there? He just might. Evans still alongside. Austin Hunt has gotten past Logan Edwards, still alongside through turns 1 and 2. Osterman tags the wall. Evans not able to get it done, Caleb.
Yeah, you see Justin Osterman just holding the outside line, and meanwhile that allows Austin Hunt to make a move on Greg Evans. He's going to possibly lose a position here while trying to get around Osterman. Austin Hunt on the inside doesn't quite clear him, has to check up in the middle of the corner. Greg Evans is going to go back through, and now he sets his sights back on Justin Osterman there. And the thing I was trying to say is Justin just seems to be holding that outside line. He's not really going defensive at all. And he's just getting a really good run off the corner, and we'll possibly see. Nope, Greg Evans thinks better of it. But you see Greg Evans go to the inside, and he's not able to get that move done. Osterman just able to sail around the outside, and Greg is going to have to make a really good run on one of these straightaways if he wants to try to get around him.
Yes, he is. Do want to point out that Peyton Howell, Jared Duda, and Nathan Nicholson are all fighting for the lead. Here's the battle for the lead. We'll check in on that. But there it is. It's about 3 car lengths from first to second, and then another car length or 2 back from second to third. They've got about a second in hand over Julian Valadez, who is being caught incrementally by Ryan O'Donoghue. Then you've got Matt Sisler kind of all by himself. Same for Nathan Palawada. And then the battle rages behind them for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. You're watching it, and they've been caught now by John Hutchins. He'll make that a 5-car, or a 5-truck, fray for that 8th spot. And again, you're right. I think Greg Evans is quicker, but he just can't figure a way to get around that 53 truck.
Yeah, Osterman putting on a very good defense at the moment. And at the moment, he's only got to do it for 5 more laps, and he can until the stage caution comes out. So you see him get right up against that wall. He's carrying a lot of speed going through these corners. Meanwhile, if Greg Evans wants to get around him, like we said, he has to go up in the inside. And I think it's a situation to where he has to be alongside probably about the halfway point on either straightaway if he wants to get around Justin there.
Yeah, he's going to pull it to the inside. He's got the quarter. There's the fender. He's halfway, and he's really leaning on Osterman now, but he just can't quite get that move done. And Evans dirt tracks off of the second corner. Evans is going to lose a spot to Austin Hunt. Logan Edwards lets him back in line, but Greg Evans gave it a shot. Just can't quite get it done. And meanwhile, they have now caught Nathan Palawada. So how about that? Palawada has fallen way back. He lost something like 0.3 of a second that last time through.
It almost looks like he's just dropping like a fly right now. Look at Justin Osterman is now on the rear bumper. He's going to look up the inside of the number 4 there, but the number 4 having the outside line. But Justin getting a really good run through the corner. I think Nathan's tires are about dead there, Murph.
Yeah, Nathan Palawada, you could see the truck visibly sideways going through turns 3 and 4, and
they make contact.
Big contact. Osterman is around. Caution. This will be the end of the stage. Justin Osterman goes around. And there is going to be caution, and we're going to see what's happened to Justin Osterman here to bring out the caution. This will be the stage break here. He's trying to go to the inside of Nathan Palawada. Was there contact between the 53 and the 15? Maybe. We'll have to go back and get a different We'll have to go back and get a different angle on it, Caleb. Here it is from the P1 airship, and we'll see what we can make out here. That's Justin Osterman, the 53 on the bottom, Nathan Palawada on the top in the number 4, Austin Hund in the 15 behind him. Osterman just he started to push up and he made contact with Palawada. He had to get out of the gas, and Austin Hund had nowhere to go, Caleb.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation for Austin Hund there. Just a little, cars getting close together in a Darlington situation. We've seen it happen all night, so it's just another one that you just got to add to the books there, Murph.
It is. The stage will end, and this will bring us to the Blackmagic Studios stage break number 2. Blackmagic Studios are a small operation dedicated to high-quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high-quality iRacing paint. That's Blackmagic Studios. Do also want to thank all the fans for tuning in. We've got another huge crowd on hand tonight, Caleb. Just as a reminder, if you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. We've got a full slate for our fans coming up. Tomorrow, it's going to be the iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear. That's going to happen at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the new scan at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix course. Again, 2 o'clock for tomorrow for the iRacing IndyCar Series. Sunday night, it's the Vote of Indy Oval Series, Season 4, Round 5 from Chicagoland. They're going to go at 8 o'clock Eastern. On Monday, we're going to have a doubleheader. It's the IndyCar Open Series at 8 o'clock, and the Indy Next Road Series will go at 10. On Tuesday night, it's a triple header. The IndyCar Oval Series top split at 8:15. The Indy Next Oval Series and the Area 51 IndyCar Series will both go at 9:30. On Wednesday, another doubleheader. It is the Horizon IndyCar Series at 8 o'clock. The Formula Super Series at 8:20. Thursday, the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series from Martinsville. That's an 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start. And then Caleb, that should bring us right back here. It does not. We are off next week in the trucks. The next truck race, April 3rd from Rockingham. So a 1-week special. 2 weeks off, race a week, get a week off. You can't beat that with a stick, can you?
No, you cannot. Now, one thing that's interesting, I was looking at this pit cycle. Jared Duda, I believe, has gotten a speeding penalty, so he's got an end of line or an EOL penalty applied. And to top it all off, I believe he also missed his pit box there coming in. So not an ideal situation for Jared. We'll see how he does with traffic on this restart here.
Yeah, and that's not a good situation for Jared Duty. You never want to see that happen. Peyton Howell, though, he'll welcome that news because he's got Nathan Nicholson to his right and teammate Julian Valadez behind him in third. Ryan O'Donohue is the first non-unrivaled Icon truck that is in running order. He is fourth outside of the second row. Austin Hund, Matt Sisler, 5th and 6th. Alan Steigerwalt, John Hutchins, 7th and 8th. Sam Crow worked his way very quietly into 9th, and Chuck Sweeting is going to restart 10th. Once we get there, the crowd is going to form back, or the field is going to form back up. We've got several stragglers. Greg Evans stayed on pit lane for quite a period of time. 54 seconds, Caleb, affecting repair to the deuce. The trucks up front, though, are getting ready to see Barney. They're going to get the green flag, and racing will resume. It's the final stage in the Freightliner 200 from Darlington in the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series, and it's green, Caleb Brashear.
Yeah, Payne Howell leads him away, and he's able to clear before he even got to turn one. He's able to clear his team.
Whoa, Matt Sisler! Matt Sisler got really super loose. He'll spin to the inside of the track. No caution. That's the black and teal or the black and green truck that you see falling back. Meanwhile, Julian Valadez will get past Nathan Nicholson for third.
I bet Julian is wanting to get that lead right now. He had to get sent to the back through the speed penalty in stage number 1. Now he's fought his way back to the front. I guarantee he's not going to hold back against his teammate here, Murph.
No, he's going to want to get back to that lead. Peyton Howell and Julian Valadez, both very fast. Caution on the speedway. Greg Evans is involved. Big mess. Michael Kirk is around. The 48 of Joseph Greathouse also involved. I see the 07 of Chris Greathouse around. Caution is on the speedway one more time, and that's going to be a tough break for Greg Evans. And we're going to get back and see what we can see here. Evans is racing with Jared Duda, and they're trying to make their way through the 48 of Joseph Greathouse. Greathouse gets into the fence, comes down, and, well, Jared Duda's there. Around goes Greathouse. Evans nowhere to go, and Troy Carricker one more time. I bet that's the 5th or 6th time he's been involved in contact today. Michael Kirk hard into that protruding backstretch wall. Caution is on the racetrack one more time here at Darlington. Caution's presented by Admin Box. Race control at the touch of a button. Go visit them at adminbox.com. So Greg Evans just got his truck fixed. Now he's going to have to head back to pit road and get it fixed some more, Caleb.
Yeah, whatever chips he put on, bet the opposite of that, because clearly recently he has not gotten the luck of the draw. Also, I can say that for Troy Carricker, he has been really unlucky the entire night. It feels like he's been involved in every single incident. But basically, what I'm saying is, whatever chips they put on, don't bet that. Payne Howe is going to lead them off once again. Julian Valdez in second, Nathan Nicholson in third, and Brian O'Donohue, the first guy who is not their teammate, is going to line up in fourth. Pretty much the same as it was last restart. We'll see if they're able to get off this time around. It
is indeed, but they've got a new cast of characters behind them. Alan Steigerwalt in 5th, John Hutchins 6th, Chuck Sweeting 7th, Logan Edwards 8th, Sam Crow 9th, and Justin Osterman 10th. That has really shuffled the order. Jared Duda is back to 11th. Matt Sizzler is 12th, and then you've got Paul Witt and David Dunwoody, Adam O'Brien and Austin Hunt, Keith Graham and Troy Carricker. Carricker has been back for more repair. Nathan Palawada, Jeffrey Goodpacer, Joseph Greathouse, and Kevin Grettenberger. Greg Evans has retired the deuce, and that's going to put Lewis Hayes, the first car who is laps down, and say, hey, Lewis Hayes is 2 down. So the next caution, Lewis Hayes is going to get a lap back if everything stays equal here. He's on his own lap, 2 laps down. So say, hey, Lewis Hayes has an incentive to avoid contact here for sure. Do want to thank everybody for tuning it in. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can be involved in all the iRacing fun. Lights back on.
We are not going green.
On the pace car. We are not going to get the green flag this time. They trying to get everybody organized, Caleb.
I believe so, and we see a car dive really into pit lane there. That is Jeffrey Goodpacer. He dives really into pit lane there. So very interesting. I think they were almost organized there, but they're going to just do another caution lap just to be safe. No harm, no foul there, Murph.
That is correct indeed. No harm, no foul, Caleb. Want to make sure we got everybody. Want to make sure we've got everybody getting it right out here. because we're getting ready to get into the meaty part of this race. This is where you pay the money, and they want to make sure everybody's lined up correctly. So good on the admins. They're going to use their admin box, extend the caution one lap, and make sure everybody's lined up right. The lights are out on the pace car, and we're gonna get back to green flag action. How many laps between each pit cycle? You can go 60 to 70 laps on a tank of fuel, so they're not worried about fuel here. Tires, well, they degrade under caution at Darlington, so that's going to be the strategy call, but we are not worried about fuel or a green flag pit stop, nor would they be worried about that in the real life truck race that you might be watching it either. The trucks can make it between the stages and the end of the race without a green flag pit stop, as Peyton Howell leads them away one more time, Caleb.
Yeah, but this time his teammates are going to go side by side. Julian Valdez riding that high line, following his teammate in front. That Nathan Nicholson is going to have to concede through. We got a spinner on the backstretch.
That is Sam Crow. He does not make contact. He'll throw it in reverse and get it going again. And there he is. He's coming off of turn number 2 there. Is Sam Crow. He's running alongside. Looks like he's running alongside Logan Edwards. He's got Duda and Osterman behind him. And what's happened to Sam Crow here? Apron bad, Caleb? Apron bad.
Not really an apron. It's just the awkward transition. And we got a wrecker on the backstretch. Number 43, Say Lewis Hayes.
Say Lewis Hayes is around, and he's been around multiple times. And that stinks for Say Lewis Hayes, because he would have stood to get a lap back if the caution had come out. And it looks like he got tagged by James Hodgson. And so we need to get a little bit of further review. Here's James Hodgson. The truck stepped out on Say Lewis Hayes. He got in the fence, and Hodgson couldn't slow up in time. You could tell he was off the gas there just by the rev counter. But Lewis Hayes is around, and James Hodgson is also likely going to have some damage to the front of that forward-facing 88. There's the contact, and there's the contact, and Lewis Hayes goes around. He'll get some more contact. Thankfully, everybody else was able to avoid him, and Troy Carricker was in front of the incident that time, Caleb, so no chance to become involved. Do want to give everybody in the audience some appreciation. Needed to rest the voice there for a second, get a drink of water. Peyton Howell is your leader. Julian Valadez is second. Nathan Nicholson, Ryan O'Donohue third and fourth. Steigerwald, Hutchins, Sweeting, Edwards, Duda, and Osterman make up the remainder of your top 10. You are watching the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series Freightliner 200 live from virtual Darlington. We've got a big crowd on hand, Caleb. Do want to thank everybody in the audience. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1, and get in on all of the iRacing fun. We're going to get back to green at lap 105 of 147, and the question now is, when do you stop to get that extra set of tires? Austin Hunn and Nathan Palawada have stopped. Troy Carricker has stopped. They did so 7 laps ago. We've also had cars come in on the lead lap under this latest caution that were not repairing damage. Sam Crow was in, Paul Witt was in, Joseph Greathouse, Kevin Grettenberger, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Keith Graham, Say Lewis Hayes, of course, was in. He was repairing damage. But we've got some trucks that are starting to bolt on the new tires now, Caleb.
Yeah, this is where we start to see the strategy split. We do talk about still got to get through the traffic itself and how much they're able to manage their tires through that as well. Obviously, they'll have a pace advantage, especially in the early stages of this restart. But it's a bit of a gamble. I think it's still a little bit too early to bolt on a set of Goodyear rubber.
You know, it's one of those things where
Green.
should it play out green, it would be a huge advantage. The odds, though, of it playing green from here are pretty slim, given what we've seen previously. The three teammates, Hal, Valadez, and Nicholson, will lead it away. Jared Duda has a black flag for a restart infraction, and that gets cleared, so he's all good. Meanwhile, the Battle Royale is on for 6th. John Hutchins, Chuck Sweeting, they're side by side. Logan Edwards is looking at them going, hold it straight, boys. Here's Logan. We'll get on board with Logan Edwards. You'll ride in the passenger seat with the number 9 as he sees Hutchins and Sweeting go at it for 6th in front of him, Caleb.
Yeah, it looks like Sweeting is just going to have the run off the corner. He's able to clear John Hutchins going on to the back straightaway. Logan does get closer to that battle, but he thinks better of it going into turn number 3. Right in front of them, Ryan O'Donoghue and Alan Steigerwald are going to war a little bit. Alan gained a good run off of turn number 4. But it's currently single file at the moment. All drivers kind of be patient. We have about just over 40 laps to go here, and they got to think, if it does go green to the end, they got to save their tires. So they don't want to push too hard right now, just in case it does go green.
I'll tell you who's pushing hard is Jared Duda. He goes into turns 3 and 4, gets in the back of Nathan Palawada, hard into the wall for Jared Duda, and that was one of our early leaders. Jared Duda, very slow down the front straightaway. That Ford has got to be hurt as he brings it down to the apron, and he may be looking for pit lane here, Caleb.
I guarantee you he is. That truck is definitely crabbing a little bit. So his night might be done there, Murph. His night might be done. Back up towards the front of the field, Payne House still has about a 1 to 2 car length advantage over his teammate Julian Valdez, and they're 1 to 2 actually between all of the top 5 really up until you get into 5th place, which is Alan Steigerwald. He's dropped a little bit back from the top 4, but the top 4 is still together at the moment, but it is single file.
It is indeed, and this is what you want to see, Caleb. You want to see the trucks get kind of strung out. You want to see them be able to start their tire strategy, start their tire save, because that's when you start getting comers and goers and positions changing. When you've got a caution every few laps, it's very difficult for that to start to happen. And so now that everybody's strung out a little bit, we should have a chance at a pretty decent green flag run here to the finish.
Yeah, it is. Julian Valadez defending the outside against Nathan Nicholson. They're going through turns 3 and 4. And also behind them, Logan Edwards did get past John Hutchins for the 7th place spot. He looks like he is pushing hard, and it looks like he's gaining on the group in front of Chuck Sweetie and Alan Steigerwald.
Yes, it does. And Logan Edwards with a ton of IndyCar experience. We love to joke with Logan. If it's got 4 wheels on it and it can be raced, he is very, very good behind the wheel of whatever that is, and he's moved himself up into that 7th spot. As we continue to watch the front 4 here, they're starting to inch away from Alan Steigerwald in 5th, Sweeting in 6th, and Edwards in 7th, and those trucks have separated themselves by about 10 to 15 car lengths over John Hutchins and Justin Osterman. That gap is nearing 3/4 of a second from Edwards back to Hutchins, who has now cleared Osterman.
Yeah, he is, and honestly, it looks like that front 4, that gap has just gotten slightly closer. Now, as I say that, Peyton Howe looks like he's actually increased that, but 2nd through 4th look like they've gotten a little bit closer together. That is as we said, Julian Valadez, Nathan Nicholson, and Ryan O'Donohue. Julian and Nathan, of course, being teammates. It looks like Julian got a really good run off of turn 4, able to separate himself a little bit and getting himself closer to Payne Howe in front.
He is the driver of the 21 wheeling that truck. He wheeled the Grand National car pretty well last night too. And if you're Ryan O'Donohue, you're saving, you're thinking, my goodness, okay, I've got 3 teammates in front of me. I don't have any help around me. What can I do to bring this home in the best possible spot? And what can I learn from these 3 in front of me now that, Greg Evans is out of the race, Sam Crow is mired in 17th, Say Lewis Hayes is laps down. What can I learn up here that I can apply in the next 32 laps or so that can get me past these drivers in front of me?
Yeah, it's just a matter of watching what the trucks in front of you do, and you see he's actually just following the exact same line they do, kind of almost mirroring them in a way. And you see that he's just playing it patient at the moment. Was very dominant in the Grand National race, was up front, but this time he's in the middle of the pack, and this is completely different to the race he had last night.
Yeah, he just, for Ryan O'Donohue, and he's a driver that runs in all of these AMA races, both series. He's just looking for a finish. I mean, he's had some bad luck. Some of it is his own making. Some of it is, not. But Ryan O'Donohue just wants a good finish here. And that's the name of the game. He was so disappointed with last night. He felt like he could have won the race or at least finished in the top 3. Didn't work out for him. He wound up on the hook. And so O'Donohue more than anything else, I think he wants to bring that 14 home in the top 5. Peyton Howell wants to bring home a trophy, and he has started to edge away from Julian Valadez. Valadez has got Nathan Nicholson in his back pocket. O'Donohue is starting to fall back a little bit from Nicholson, but they're still pulling away from Alan Steigerwald, and Steigerwald is going to have problems because Chuck Sweeting has pulled up to the rear of that Ram, and he's got Logan Edwards right behind him.
And not only that, look who's caught back up. John Hutchins. He was down about 3/4 of a second behind Logan Edwards. Now he's only about 4 to 5 car lengths behind him. It was 4/10 as they came across the line. So John Hutchins early in the stint saving the tires, and he's into the wall there. That's not going to help his cause to try to catch up back to the front of this field here.
No, and we talked about Matt Sisler. He had a pretty lengthy slide through turns 1 and 2 on the restart. You got to wonder if that buzzed the tires enough that Sisler is looking for. And Steigerwald gets it loose coming off of turn 4, keeps it straight and stays in front of Sweeting. That was a save.
Yeah, it's just one of those moments where the exit of the corner comes up so quickly and the truck just wants to step out every single time you go through the exit of either 2 or 4, and a very nice save from Steigerwald there. Meanwhile, behind him, Logan and Chuck Sweetie thought about going side by side. Logan thought about going up the inside. Doesn't get a good enough run to make it happen, though. He's going to file back in that 7th place position. Meanwhile, as you say that, it looks like Sweetie's actually dropped a couple of places here. He's actually going to give up the position to John Hutchins. That makes me think he's killed his tires here, Murph.
Yeah, it does, and unfortunately, there goes Osterman by Sweeting. It's really easy to do. You get them hot, and everybody just drives by. And at Darlington, it is super difficult to get the tires back once you get them heated up. That's going to move Steigerwald to 5th and Logan Edwards to 6th, and Logan Edwards is hunting down Alan Steigerwald for that 5th spot. They have completely lost touch with the leaders.
Yeah, that lead pack has broken completely away from everybody else. It is a little bit more spread out than what we saw just a handful of laps ago. One thing that is different is that Julian Valdez is actually slotting himself into third. Nathan Nicholson able to get around him, but they are spread out. They are actually catching lap traffic in front. So that pack is running away. Meanwhile, the true battle on track is for this 5th place position. Logan Edwards, Alan Steigerwald, and about 4 to 5 truck lengths behind them is John Hutchins and the rest of that pack for the 5th place battle.
It is indeed. Logan Edwards pulls right back up on the rear bumper of Alan Steigerwald and then lets him go going into turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, has dropped under John Hutchins, and he'll try to claim the 7th spot, but Hutchins is going to hold him off, and Hutchins is now the jam car. He's got 4 trucks in close attendance behind him. Matt Sizzler is the interested party, and you got to wonder, has Sizzler gotten enough life back in the Goodyears to be able to go by? And now Hutchins tags the wall one more time. Meanwhile, Edwards dives under Steigerwald for 5th, and he'll claim that 5th spot. Good run for Logan Edwards.
Yeah, he set up the exit at turn 2 perfectly to get alongside Alan Steigerwald on the back straightaway, and he's able to get the move done in 3. John Hutchins has kind of pulled away over Justin Osterman just a little bit. Yeah, Justin Osterman about 1 to 2 truck lengths as they go onto the back straightaway. Sweetie seems to, we saw him kind of struggle. Maybe we thought the tires were burnt up. It looks like he's got it back under control in that 9th place position there. But it does seem like this group is spreading out just a tad bit.
It is, and this is where you start to see 21 laps to go. They're going to come get 20 laps to go. You've got 35 laps on the tires for most of these drivers. Austin Hunt slightly fresher with 30. And then Paul Witt, who you see just back a little bit further up the road, he's got 24 laps on his tires. So this is where you see who's been able to save their tires most effectively. You've also got lap traffic in the picture. But this is where you're going to see who saved their tires. This is where you're going to see comers and goers, Caleb, and this is where it gets fun as we head down into the last 20 laps with Peyton Howell, your leader. And there's Howell. He's pulled out to a 2.5 seconds over Nathan Nicholson, and he's got the
battle for 6th or 7th place is really heating up here, Murph. They made a lot of contact through turn number 4. Thankfully, nobody went around, and Justin Osterman able to actually slot himself into that 6th place spot. And they've kind of he's actually left that pack behind. That's how much they were holding each other up through turns 3 and 4 last time around.
Well, Alan Steigerwald has absolutely dropped like a rock. He was fifth 5 laps ago. He's about to get passed by Matt Sizzler for 10th, and Paul Witt, with those fresher tires now, has caught this group. Witt's got 11 lap fresher tires than everybody else running in front of him, and he's been able to now catch this pack. And so we'll see what he can do. As Steigerwald loose off of turn number 2 one more time, and Matt Sizzler is anxious to get past because we know he's got top 5 speed. He's been in the top 5 of this race previously, but he needs to get by Steigerwald because he wants to keep those 3 trucks in front of him in sight, and he also knows Paul Witt's got fresh tires behind him, or fresher tires, I should say.
Paul Witt has pulled up right to the back bumper of Matt Sizzler. He's using those fresh tires to his advantage. He's still got to get around all the drivers in front of him, and we haven't really talked much about him, but he is in the 12th place position, and we'll see how he's able to navigate the trucks in front. Meanwhile, Chuck Sweetie has a really good run on Austin Hunt, and thinks better of it going into turn number 1. And as I say that, he actually looks up the inside just a tad bit.
He did. He did. Well, Hund is kind of stymied. I think he's faster than than Hutchins, and he'll drop to the inside of Hutchins going down the backstretch into turn 3. But I think, Sweeting had that run and he backed out of it because I think he realizes that Austin Hund, and Hund gets big loose coming off of turn number 4. He can't get the pass done, and that's going to allow Chuck Sweeting. No. Sweeting thinks better of it and backs out. I think Sweeting knows he's probably faster than both those trucks in front of him, but he doesn't want to buzz the tires, Caleb.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. He possibly experienced that early in the run. Lost a lot of time. I want to say it was around 20 laps ago. So he's now more cautious about it since he possibly did it once. But he wants to get around these trucks, but he doesn't want to risk burning up those rears.
No, he doesn't. We've got 14 laps to go. We're going to check back in at the front. Peyton Howell is your leader. He's got now nearly 2 seconds in hand over Julian Valadez, Nathan Nicholson, and Ryan O'Donohue. There's Valadez in the 21, Nicholson in the 18, and Ryan O'Donohue in the 14th. They have held station in positions 2 through 4 for this entire third stage. Logan Edwards is 5th, and there's Logan in the number 9. The 07 is not on the lead lap. That is Chris Greathouse. Justin Osterman is 6th. Osterman is running just about the same time as the leaders, and so Justin Osterman runs along 6th. John Hutchins is in 7th, and this is where the battle really is. It's Hutchins 7th, Hund 8th, Sweeting 9th. They have begun to drop Alan Steigerwalt in 10th. You've got Sizzler 11th and Paul Witt 12th. Go ahead, Caleb.
2 lap cars made contact around Logan Edwards. Logan nearly getting taken out by the number 57, and I wasn't able to catch who the second one is, but they both hit the outside wall while Logan was overtaking them. Thankfully, Logan got through all okay, but it looks like he's maintaining pace, but it looks like he is gaining slightly on that battle for the third place position of Ryan O'Donohue and Nathan Nicholson. These two, I've been watching them for the past couple laps. They have been bumper to bumper for a large portion of this third stage. Julian Valadez was a part of that battle earlier, but he is pulled away from those two. So we'll see what Ryan O'Donohue has for Nathan Nicholson in these last 10 laps here.
Yeah, we're going to see it. O'Donohue has been faster the last 5 laps than Nathan Nicholson. Matter of fact, Ryan O'Donohue 2 laps ago was faster than Peyton Howell, the leader. And so O'Donohue looking to get through and looking to claim that final spot on the podium in that DVD Motorsports Ram. Can he do it? He is currently 4th, and he is all over the back of Nathan Nicholson. And let's jump on board the gyro cam in the passenger seat. And this is what you're looking at if you're chasing Nathan Nicholson for the final step on the podium.
All right, man.
Caution is on the Speedway. Caution is out. James Hodgson is the offending truck. And let's see what we've got here, Caleb.
No, it was not James Hodgson. It was Alan Steigerwald and Kevin Grettenberger. They made contact off the turn 4.
There you go. So there's Steigerwald. He's loose on the top. Poor Grettenberger's loose on the bottom. They meet in the middle. Both of them make heavy contact to the outside wall and with each other. Everybody else manages to avoid low. And with 48 laps on the tires, I got to bet that everyone is going to come to pit lane here for this final, what'll be about a 5-lap shootout, Caleb.
Yes, they will. I was going to point out right before that caution came out, Logan Edwards was 0.4 quicker than the top 4 consistently for around 3 laps. And right before that caution came out, he was only 2 truck lengths behind Ryan O'Donohue. So that would have been, if we went green to the end, that would have been really interesting to see where Logan Edwards was going to be at. But he's in the top 5. Let's see what he has for these last 5 laps here.
Yeah, Logan Edwards was definitely coming. Say, hey, Lewis Hayes is going to get a lap back here. He'll go to 1 lap down. Kevin Grettenberger should be your lucky dog. Meanwhile, everybody is going to put on 4 new tires. Nobody took the opportunity to stay out on 50-lap old used rubber. Here we go. Sliding to a stop at Peyton Howell. The right sides are going to go up. Does anybody take 2 tires here, Caleb, and try to steal one, or is that worth it given the state of your lefts?
I think Logan Edwards did. Logan Edwards is your leader off pit road.
Logan Edwards took 2. Chuck Sweeting took 2. There's Logan Edwards, your leader, on 2 tires, and he's going to have some help because Chuck Sweeting took 2 tires as well. So Logan Edwards, 2 tires. Chuck Sweeting gets out second, also on 2 tires. Everybody else behind them, Nicholson, Valadez, O'Donohue, Osterman, Howell, Hutchins, Hund, and Sizzler, all got 4. So there's your strategy call, Caleb.
It does make me want, like, Logan was significantly faster than the leaders. I wonder how much he has saved those tires from the previous stint, and if those left sides that are still on have any life left to them. So he has a fresh set of rights. Let's see how he is able to do on this restart with about 5 to go.
Well, and here's the thing: he's got some help in the form of Chuck Sweeting, because Sweeting is going to be to his outside. Edwards has a huge advantage. He's able to dictate the restart here. It is universally known that the worst place you can restart in any race is from second on the outside of the leader, because the leader gets to choose when you go. And in iRacing, and we've got who was that in the back? I
believe that was Chris Grayhouse, I believe.
Might have been.
Yes, it was.
Just tagged the wall on the backstretch there. No harm, no foul, at least as we go. But for Logan, he gets to dictate the start, and so that may check up the outside line. And then, if he can get away a little bit, he's only got to survive for about 8 miles. Here we go. Here's the restart. Logan Edwards is going to be your leader. He gets the jump. Chuck Sweeting spins the tires. Logan Edwards is going to get away, Caleb.
And Chuck Sweeting's into the wall. Logan Edwards leads into turn 1. Cars in the wall behind them. I believe that was Justin Osterman into the wall.
All right, man. Caution.
Yellow is out.
Flag is out.
Yellow is out. We still got cars hitting the wall. We still got cars crashing now. Sam Crow hard in the wall. Nathan Palawada hard in the wall. Peyton Howell has been involved. So we're going to have quite a bit to sort through as we go to get a green-white checker, and that could not have gone better for Logan Edwards.
No, that pretty much guarantees only a 2-lap shootout. If we do only get 1 green-white checker, this is exactly what he wanted. Only about not even half a lap on those right sides. So this is exactly what he wanted, and now, especially considering that you have one of the strongest drivers now towards the rear of the field.
Well, and he's been involved in an accident too. We're going to start with Peyton Howell. The 24 goes around. That is not the reason for the caution, though. What happens in front is going to be the reason. There's Palawada and Crow. They get together and get hooked up. They crash hard to the inside. Meanwhile, is Peyton Howell involved? He is not. So Peyton Howell not involved. Let's get back and see what we've got with Palawada. Palawada just got up in the wall and came down, and poor Sam Crow had nowhere to go. Joshua Andrews spun, and he's going to be, I think, the initial cause. I called it out as Palawada and Crow, but I believe the yellow light was on before that because of this. Here's Andrews. He's going through turn 1, and he's going to get a little bit of help from the 87 of Alan Steigerwalt. Around he goes. And it was just a lazy half spin, but he dropped below the minimum speed, and caution comes out, Caleb.
Yeah, we'll get a caution. We'll get a green-white checker. Hopefully 2 more laps will decide this thing.
Now I know you've got a rooting interest in seeing Logan Edwards take home the trophy here at Darlington, but that was the best possible thing that could have happened to Logan Edwards. He got a restart, he kept the lead, caution immediately came out. He did not have to use any tire. He did not have to use any tire to maintain the lead. And now instead of 5 laps for the tires to go by him, he's only going to have to hold them off for 2. I don't know if he can hold off Nicholson or Valdez or O'Donoghue, but he's certainly going to have a run at it. And he's got the advantage because he gets to dictate the start. And unlike Chuck Sweeting, Logan Edwards did not spin the tires. Sweeting fell all the way back to 15th on the exchange, and he actually came and got 4 tires. So he said, "Look, I'm not gonna try that again." But Logan Edwards, if he can get that same kind of a start, get a couple of car lengths out ahead, he's got a shot at it, Caleb.
Is it slightly obvious that I have a slight bias to who I want to do well in this race? Is it slightly obvious there, Murph?
It's hard, and I know it's hard. It's hard when I commentate and I see the Indy Alliance guys on the track. It's hard for me to remain unbiased. You just do the best you can. Barney's got the green flag in the air. Logan Edwards will get the restart, and he gets another good one, but he is being pushed now by Julian Valdez off into turn 1. Valdez in the 21, hard in the back bumper of Edwards. Edwards to the high side, Valdez low, and I think Julian Valdez is going to have it here coming off of turn 2. We've got cars in the wall coming off of turn 2. Edwards is hanging tough on that high side, but it's going to be awful tough now on the narrow end of the track. Edwards to the top. He keeps it wound up. White flag, next flag will end the race. Logan Edwards still battling for second. Valdez has the lead.
Oh, he gets that. Nathan Nicholson gets loose. That allows Logan to secure a second place. He's still loose. Go through turn 2, and they're wrecking on the backstretch, Murph.
Through goes Ryan O'Donoghue. Multiple trucks hard in the wall. Matt Sizzler got through O'Donoghue. Julian Valdez is going to come off of turn number 4. He's going to take the win at Darlington. Massive crash. We'll get to it here in a minute. O'Donoghue and Sizzler drag race back, and O'Donoghue gets him at the line. Matt Sizzler will finish 4th.
That was a lot to unpack there.
Whew. And who said sim racing can't be exciting? Julian Valdez is your winner, and he will collect the Rogue Energy winning moment. If you go to rogueenergy.com and use promo code AMA24, you get 10% off your order. Julian Valdez will be credited with the win and the Rogue Energy winning moment. With the winner go the donuts, and there he goes. Burn him down. Julian Valdez is your winner. And how about Jeffrey Goodpaster? He didn't run higher than 20th all night, Caleb. The massive pile up at the end gets him a 5th. Paul Witt's going to finish 6th.
I believe Goodpaster was 2 laps down at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken. Valdez with, again, the Rogue Energy winning moment, promo code AMA24 at rogueenergy.com. But we have some things to unpack, Caleb.
Yes, we do indeed. A very interesting race, a very chaotic race, but it was a race nonetheless. Julian Valdez is your winner here at Darlington.
He is. Let's get some replays queued up. It's all going to start with Logan Edwards racing Nathan Nicholson. Now, that's not anything Logan does wrong. He hangs it in the throttle, stays on the high side. He's got the preferred line, and now Nicholson is loose with Osterman under him. Osterman is also loose. Those two both spin. David Dunwoody gets tagged by Peyton Howell. Osterman and Nicholson get together, and then Hund and Hund and Hutchison get together, and that's going to let O'Donoghue and Sizzler sneak through. Sizzler had the advantage to begin with, but O'Donoghue kept his momentum up a little bit better. These two are going to go Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven style through turns 3 and 4. Both of them bouncing off each other, bouncing off the wall. That's Paul Witt behind. Excuse me. And they come across the line. I want to go back and watch this thing live from Ryan O'Donoghue's in car. Just watch this. This is nuts. So here's O'Donoghue. He's behind Osterman. There's Edwards. And watch this, Caleb. This is as Ryan O'Donoghue saw it.
You could say the seas parted with him.
You can, but now
he gets into battle with Matt Sizzler, and they pull a Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch to the line for third.
They do. Ultimately, O'Donoghue is credited with the third place spot, but that was definitely, after some starts and stops, that was definitely a really, really awesome finish. And we're going to get some replays queued up here so that we can talk to the podium drivers. And I bet we've got some happy guys that this one has ended. But we also need to go through the results. Julian Valadez is going to be your winner. He brings it home 0.6 of a second over Logan Edwards. Ryan O'Donoghue finishes third. The two tires work out for Edwards. Matt Sizzler, Jeffrey Goodpacer round out your top 5, and then it's Paul Witt, Chuck Sweeting, Peyton Howell, Adam O'Brien, and Troy Carricker, your top 10. Troy Carricker hit everything but the lottery today, and he gets credited with a top 10 finish. How about that? In 11th, Justin Osterman, Nathan Palawada 12th, Alan Steigerwalt 13th, and Kevin Grettenberger, Austin Hunt, John Hutchins, David Dunwoody, Nathan Nicholson, Joseph Greathouse, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes, your top 20. In 21st, James Hodgson, then Sam Crow, Joshua Edwards, Jeremy Dunwoody, Ted Craven through 25th. Out of the race, Keith Graham, Chris Greathouse, Jared Duder, Greg Evans, Brian Sharp, Michael Kirks, Sean Roberts, Chad Meadows, Bladen Edwards, Donald Green, Pat O'Brien, Randy Dunlap, Jim Duda, and Matt Wagner. Those are your 39 starters. And let's grab Ryan O'Donoghue. Ryan, you got Murph. You've got Caleb in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4. I got you guys.
Well, the seas parted. You had Logan Edwards up there on two tires. He manages to stay ahead of Nathan Nicholson. He got the preferred line through 1 and 2. And then what'd you see after that?
Yeah, I knew it might be a little sketchy on two tires there, off of 2. The restart before that, we all sent it into 1, and Justin and I got together. So I apologize for that. I know he's running the back of me under caution. So I don't know. It's just a racing deal. But then, I'm thinking of that off of 2 on that next one. I saw the 18 getting loose, and I saw Justin starting to get a little loose, and I backed out of it. I'm trying to let him save it in front of me, and it's just nowhere to go. So Sam jumped on the radio for me, and he's telling me what's going on. I didn't realize Matt was all the way down there at the bottom. Just tried to get into 3 good and hold that spot, and got run up into the wall. So, off of 4, I wasn't really too happy with that, but hold them off for third, not too bad. I just didn't want to see that last caution anyway. For once, we had a good long run car and stayed with those guys, and I was just fighting to get by the 18. Just trying to pick my spot there, and I thought we could get him before Logan got to us. Good call on him to take 2 there for sure, though.
Absolutely, it wasn't quite Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch, but it was between you and Sizzler, but it wasn't for the win, but it was definitely fun to watch. Caleb, what do you have for Ryan O'Donohue this evening?
So I think it's probably safe to say we probably should try to forget this track at least for a little while. Let's focus forward on the future. Next race is at Rockingham. What are you looking forward to there?
I really enjoyed the track last year. First go at it. I think there's just a lot of speed there, and it's the same thing. You're trying to save tires, so I think we've been doing an okay job of that lately. Definitely tonight, I feel a lot better going into that race. Kind of getting this wheel back under me after the update. So yeah, we'll get some practice laps going on that and see what we got for them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, Ryan. Thank you so much for your support of the league. You know the drill by now. Friends, family, sponsors, shout-outs, girlfriends in the chat encouraging you on, my friend. You got the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, babe. Girlfriend's always first. She puts up with all this nonsense about 6 nights a week at this point. So everybody else, DVD, all my guys, man, we don't always have the best races as a whole. We some are up or some are down, and there's some things that just are out of our control that happens. And but we're a tight group, and we're doing it all for John Van Varellos this year. So hope everybody that's associated with him enjoyed watching it, Chris and them. So means a lot that these guys brought me on board, and we're just getting tighter and tighter as a group every week, and we help each other out a lot. So doing it all for him now. So as always, this is not a win, but you know we'll mention whenever we can. So everybody else, Mass Surgical Supply, Heatwave Visual, 80K Karting, Sim Magic, Sim Shop, AMA, all the admins, and Kendall runs a great program here. So I always look forward to these 2 days of the week, especially being on P1 and enjoy watching these broadcasts back. We're on a heck of a roll right now, so hope everybody's enjoying watching it. All of AMA sponsors, Archway Industrial Coatings for the sponsorship of this series, Black Magic Studios, Track Racer, Rogue Energy, Box, P1, and like I said, everybody watching it. Everybody's supporting and helping you guys out and subscribing, and it's great for everybody involved. So,
absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for hanging out, stopping in, stopping by. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
10-4, guys. Have a good night.
Absolutely. That is Ryan O'Donohue. He is your third place finisher tonight. For second, we've got the biggest gambler in Darlington, virtual Darlington, South Carolina tonight. It's Logan Edwards. Logan, you've got Murph and you've got Caleb in the P1 broadcasting booth. Can you hear us?
I got you.
So you took 2. We've got to ask why.
I just didn't think I didn't want to be in the meat of the sandwich whenever stuff got real at the end of there. Because, I mean, we've struggled to go green all night, and I know that at the end of the race, anybody can get a little too eager and take out the entire field like we saw at the end there. So I decided I'd rather have the track position and the security of 2 tires, and I felt like I had the best long run before the caution came out to really set all that up anyway. So figured my left sides aren't too bad, so I might as well just send it on the two tires, and I think it paid off big time.
Absolutely, it did. You bring it home in second. Caleb, what do you have for Logan tonight?
Well,
you've rendered him.
We on Minecraft.
You've rendered him speechless. That's the first thing you've done.
I'm just trying to process everything that happened. First off, we get on Minecraft later. I guess I'll ask you 2 questions. All right, we get on Minecraft later. Go ahead and everybody check out Narcbrain on Twitch. I doubt you'll be streaming that even though. But I guess my real question is you really, one thing that we didn't bring up is you were significantly faster at the end of that green flag run. Like how, but even then you still had the pace throughout the entirety of that stint where you were gaining on everybody else. Like Just talk us through that last green flag run where you seemed to be significantly faster at the end of the rest of the field at the end there.
Guess I just had the car control. It's cold. These trucks are. One thing I know we come from the land of aero, but one thing that these trucks you very much have to consider is the fact that they are still aerodynamically sensitive because they're so freaking huge. So you can really position your truck in a way in the corners to help you corner ever so slightly. And just like in the IR18, it really adds up, turns into tire saving. On top of that, I just think I'm a very smooth driver in general whenever it comes to stuff like this. And that paid off big time.
Well, it paid off with the middle step of the podium, Logan, and so I'm going to ask you the unserious question since Caleb won't do it. But what is your favorite flavor of chicken wings?
Chicken wings. Every time I go to Wingstop, I get the Cajun.
A Cajun man. All right, so you were 48 markers, excuse me, behind Peyton Howell coming in here. Howell runs in the 8 spot, so you're going to pick up a little bit on that. You're going to continue to be second in the points, so congratulations on that, Logan. With the middle step of the podium go the spoils. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. Microphone goes to you, sir.
Shout out to Team I5G and all my friends within the community and my brother Landon. And shout out to P1 Broadcasting for putting the show on. And that's it.
Absolutely,
Speed
Logan.
ran it today.
Absolutely, Logan. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
You too. See y'all.
Absolutely. That's Logan Edwards. He is the second place finisher today. For the winner, we've got to go to Julian Valadez. Julian, you've got Murph and you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 Broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
So you got Logan Edwards up there on 2 tires. You've managed to dodge the wrecks all day long. You get to the front. You've got Logan on 2 tires. What's that like trying to navigate that on the final restart?
Really just trying to use the air to move them around, but also to give myself a lane to move to give me a chance to pass them.
Were you at all worried that there was going to be another like immediate incident? We get one green light checker here. Were you worried about the field getting checked up behind you and not getting a shot at him, or were you pretty certain that you could get by fairly quickly?
I knew if we could get through 1 and 2, I had a good shot, but I was definitely worried with the trend this race had to it. I was scared.
For certain, sure. Caleb, what do you have for Julian Valadez tonight?
Well, it was a bit of a chaotic race, but you seem to be up front for most of the night, but you did have that setback of fighting back through the field, and then you get a long green flag stint at the end. You seem to, you had really good pace the entire night. Did you think you had anything for Peyton Howe if you went to green to the end?
No, I think that was Peyton's race 110%, but it sucks to see that late race caution because I was hoping it just went green. From a team motor standpoint, we had 3 cars in the top 3, so it was a good sight to see. But unfortunately, Peyton sped on pit road and finished 8th, I think. I don't know for sure.
Yes, he did come home 8th. It was a wild journey to get him there, but he did finish 8th. The last lap is something that you're going to have to go back and watch for sure. With that said, Julian, thank you so much for stopping by. You win on P1, you get the microphone. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours.
First off, got to thank my girlfriend for letting me do this, and then Icon Apparel, Scott Martin, for supporting this whole deal, Victory Fuel, Unrivaled Innovations, Nerditudes, and UNRV Esports, of course, for helping us out every week. And P1 Broadcasting for the broadcast, of course.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Julian, congratulations on the dub. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Thank you. See you.
Sir, that is Julian Valadez. And Caleb, we've had 2 races at Darlington. what are your thoughts headed into the next set of races? We got an off week in the trucks, but we're headed to Martinsville next Thursday night in the Xfinity cars.
Well, we know how Martinsville is in iRacing. I think one of the most popular iRacing streams of all time was when Jordan Worth pitted like 100 times in the NIS race and still managed to finish a top 5. So I have a feeling it's gonna be it probably will be a very similar vibe to what we had tonight. Hopefully it doesn't go that way, but it is Martinsville. It's the paperclip. And it's just, to quote Denny Hamlin, it's just short track racing.
You know it is, and it's you never know quite what you're going to get. If you can get through the first 3 or 4 laps at Martinsville, you can wind up with some really long green flag runs because of the way the track is and the way the tires wear. So it could be interesting, especially in the Grand National cars that are a little bit harder to drive. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We had another great turnout for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Do want to thank all the fans in the stands. Want to thank the drivers on the track for their support. And we do want to remind everybody, if you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun, because there's a lot of it to be had. Tomorrow, the iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear from St. Petersburg is going to go off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time, and then the Vote of Indy Oval Series is going to go Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern. They'll be at Chicagoland. Monday night, it's a doubleheader. The Indy Open Series at 8 and the Indy Next Road Series at 10. Both of those top split officials. Tuesday, it's a triple header. The iRacing Oval Series goes at 8:15. Indy Next Oval Series at 9:30, and the Area 51 IndyCar Series will also happen at 9:30 Eastern. They're going to be at the Daytona Road Course, Caleb. That ought to be fun. Wednesday, it's the Formula Super Series at 8:20, the Horizon IndyCar Series at 8. And then that brings us right back to the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series. 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start right here on P1. In addition to the competitors and the fans in the stands, we've got to thank the people that really that make it possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs driving the ambulance, and Caleb, the nurse that unloads you when you get you there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. We will see you tomorrow at St. Pete.